think it just has to have like one solid element of either like lyrics or instruments.
I definitely think the albums that I gravitate to like the most have some sort of narrative style. Not necessarily that they're like directly telling a story, but I can understand like the flow of ideas from one song to the next. And of course, like lyrics, I'm like, if something sounds really cool, but the lyrics really suck, I am like immensely disappointed and like I can't find myself latching onto it. Get people like in a mood or in a feeling, then that album has been like successful.
I'm really into albums that have the same sound, and I'm really into like songs. You can tell a song is just off an album just by the way it sounds. They all sound like they're from their own planet, and it's just really interesting to hear the kind of place that artist was in at that time, I guess, based on the sound of the album.
My favorite album is Rumors by Fleetwood Mac because it does have a really good storyline. It has Landslide in it, which is like a pivotal time in Fleetwood Mac's history where they're like thinking about breaking up.
I would say one that like definitely shaped me would be Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster. I just really like how out of the box she is. Like as a young like gay boy who didn't know that he was gay yet, it was nice to see someone in the media kind of taking hold of their career in like a very unique and like independent way. I think like Lady Gaga really embodied like this cool sense of like I love fame and the materialism and like the bright lights and the like the notoriety and all this stuff, but there's also this like dark side to
My all-time favorite album is Sad Days by Mac DeMarco. It's the first Mac DeMarco album I heard, and its themes on growing older, specifically the title track Sad Days, saying Sad Days are gone. It's something that was really impactful for me, especially when I first heard the album because I was transferring from high school to college age. And during that time, I guess it was pretty prevalent that my sad days were gone. So this album, just definitely, I connected to this album a lot during that time.
I definitely used to listen to whole albums more. Spotify has like a better like suggestion type, like like Discover Weekly. I feel like has helped me more just like get individual songs instead of like diving into full albums.
But recently I've like been really going back to the album format and appreciating, and I think a lot of artists have too, because for a minute in like the media and in like pop culture, it was very driven on like radio sales and like, can you give us the single, can you give us like, can you pump out an album, and like a nice like album cycle, if that makes sense. So like single music video, album, tour dates or whatever. The album format ultimately like becomes like the peak of the art form. I've always liked kind of like the human side of music too, so I feel like I don't get to really like latch on or understand what's going on if I don't listen to the album in full. But then like once I get the sense, I like will move into my favorites and stuff.
I'm definitely an album listener, and that's definitely changed a lot since I first started listening to music. Because when I first started listening to music, it was just kind of, whatever I heard, just one song. Even if I liked that one song, I wouldn't go and listen to the album. So nowadays, usually when I listen to any kind of music, I just play it from track one, just do it all the way through.
Music in general is going to be more like almost like theatrical, more visual, more of like a show. Albums also, like they've been doing like visual albums like Beyonce's like Lemonade, that kind of thing.
Albums will become almost like one song. I feel like there's a trend right now for songs to like really bleed together and kind of flow from one song to the next without the listener really being aware that you've even moved on to the next song. Which I think is really exciting because then people aren't writing their music for like they're not writing their music in like a typical structure anymore. They're thinking of their music more of like a full body of work that has like different chapters, almost like a book.
I think that artists are going to continue to release albums at an even quicker pace. It seems that stay relevant today, you really got to just be releasing music all the time, stay in people's minds. It seems nowadays that an artist will release an album basically every year. Albums are going to continue to get shorter. They used to be, 20 tracks, double-sided LPs, but now, a long album is 10 or 12 tracks, and I think that's gonna be a theme that makes itself more prevalent in the years to come.